Well, hello, welcome to the Train Buddy Shop. We've got an interesting install today. We're going to install in an N scale car a FRED, and this particular FRED is by GATR Works. And you can read their information here. This was given to me by the customer who wants me to install this in it. So, yeah, okay. Battery life 80 hours. All right. So let's take a look at. First of all, when you ship these kind of things, this is what happened to this. You see all this. All of the glass down in here. This is the other one. Thank goodness he sent two. But this is what happened to the other one. As you can see, it broke all up. This is the way it should have looked. Okay. So that's the reed switch. And that turns this device on and off. First thing it says is test the LED to make sure that it works. So we actually have two here, but we're going to test this one that came in the package. It says that the short lead is plus. That's kind of backwards from the way most LEDs are. Okay, it's plus. Looking at how the battery is installed, plus is on the top. Right? Plus is on the top. Minus is over here. Right. Here we go. Alright, so we know that that part of it works. And let's get into it. Drill a hole in the frame. Well, we got to get this thing apart first. So, as I typically say, the hardest part of doing installs is getting the car apart. So let's see what we've got to do here to get this one apart. This is an Atlas Train Man. Looks like it's got some decent couplers on it. These are look like Atlas couplers. And in order to get it apart, all right, let's take a look at how to do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. The top actually comes off of this car, and I kind of pulled on it and saw that that's where it was. And so there's little tabs on the side. It comes right open. That's going to help us when we go ahead and when the customer wants to replace the battery. This is going to make it easier. We have a small problem, and the problem is that if you notice, there's a weight down here at the bottom. So we're going to have to take that weight out in order to get our wires in. Let's go ahead and do that. Finding the right screwdriver sometimes is hard. Small enough to get in there. There we go. All right. Let's get a little bit more light on this subject. Now we'll take the weight out. And it says drill a hole. Well, guess what? There's this huge hole right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Huge hole right there. So we don't have to drill a hole. And put the LED in. Now we're going to put it on this end. I've already taken the coupler off. And let's do the LED. So we can do that through here. know if you can see that or not. There we go. Okay. See if we can get the weight back. Weight doesn't seem to want to go in there with that with the wire there. So what are we going to do? Well, looks like there might be some room on the edge, on both edges. So let's split this wire. I'm going to have to untwist it. Here we go. Again, putting this about right there. Let's try to kind of mold the wires down into the corners. See if you can see that. Get in there and hold it in place with my finger. You know what? I could put this down like this. Ta-da! All right, did you see what I did there? Okay, and that looks like about the right spot. Okay, so we're going to do that. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and put the screws back in. These screws are magnetized. Or they're metal or iron, right? And the screwdriver's got a little bit of magnetic properties to it, so that makes it kind of easy to put these in. If you don't have a magnetic screwdriver, or if you are using a brass screw, then you can use an adhesive tack. There are a number of companies that make it. I buy it from 3M. And so 3M has an adhesive tack. It kind of looks like this in the package. It's just a piece of gum, and it's used for scrapbookers when they want to put pictures in without damaging them. Oh, here it is, right here. Scotch. Oh, I'm sorry, Scotch. Scotch brand, right? Adhesive putty, removable adhesive putty. Oh, it is 3M. Okay, I was right. Again, not an advertisement for them. There's a lot of things that I do, just telling you what's available. You might find other brands, but it makes it easy to put screws in like this. I usually have a big blob of it, and I just take a little bit of the blob. Put it on the end of the screwdriver like this. And again, I'm able to just stick a screw. This is another screw, but stick a screw on there without it being magnetic. Right? So either the screwdriver's not magnetic, or or the screw itself is not a metal screw, and then you can put it upside down, downside, put it in little holes. So adhesive tack, or adhesive putty they call it. Alrighty then, so that was easy, huh? We'll talk about how to dress this up here in just a second. Let's go ahead and get the electronics in and get it ready to go. So this is all there is to the electronics. We need to solder a couple of things to it. Since this is metal on the bottom, we don't want the reed to be down by that. We do need to somehow hold this to the metal. You could use some adhesive. We're going to use just for giggles, we're going to use a double-sided sticky tape. This double-sided sticky tape actually has foam in the inside of it. Again, something that you might find at the scrapbook area, right? Double-sided sticky foam. I think that's also by 3M. Man, 3M makes a lot of stuff. Okay, and we're going to just put that sticky foam in there, right? And then we're going to stick our battery to it. Let's put it down here. Let's put it farther away. This is becoming a problem here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and solder the wires to this. We know that the longer wire goes to this end, right? So I'm going to go ahead and double that over a little bit. All right, we're going to do as we usually do. We're going to do a tack, pre-solder, right? We're going to pre-solder this little lug here. We're going to pre-solder our wire. People would call it tinning. Right? We're going to tin the wire. In this case, it's a single wire, so it's not a big deal. It's going to be pretty quick here. 1, 2, 3, done. Okay, we're also going to do the same thing for our reed relay. So we're going to pre-tin the end of it. Again, not knowing what the characteristics of this reed relay is in terms of heat. We're just going to pre-tin the two. We could wrap it around like they did on this side. Let's kind of do that. And now that I just made both pieces hot, right? If you had a wire wrap tool, which I've talked about in other videos, right? So this is a wire wrap tool. A wire wrap tool will take a piece of wire like this, put it in one side of it. It has 2 holes. The center hole goes like this, and you just go like that, and you wrap it around that other pole. Well, you're supposed to. What happened? Let's try it again. Like that, right? And not only did I get a solid contact, you notice the lights going on and off, and now I can solder to that. And let's check and see if it will turn it off. There you go. Turn it off. Turn it back on. Turn it off. All right, cool. We're in good shape. Let's put a little shrink tube around this the two ends, because we don't want them to come in contact with that. I'm going to use a little bit bigger than what I usually would use here. Let's just test this to see. That's 1/16. Test 1/16. Oh, that goes over it well. Okay, so we're going to do that piece right there. Okay, on that end. And we're going to do likewise on the other end. Like that. And I'm going to use a heat gun. And there we go. Now stuff the wires in. Okay, so let's go this way with this one, kind of this way with this one, and we need to have the what do you call this thing? Magnetic relay. Need to have it towards the top. Okay? So we're going to see where that lays. Right? It would be nice if it was like right in the center. Okay, so let's try to make sure that it's in the center. Okay. And I'm concerned that because this is the way glass, the way it is, and the top there, that we're going to break it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little fissure across this so that it lays flat across the top. And so I'm going to need some kind of a file. This is a round file, right? So using the round file, we're going to take right there, right? I'm going to make a round piece. Somebody might say, why don't you use a Dremel? And if you will see a lot of my other videos, I try to use manual whenever I can. Dremels, although they are very good for very small things like this, when you've got a lot of small details, it's very easy to ruin a piece by using a high-speed Dremel tool. And it just takes a couple seconds to get it right. So now let's put that back up in there. Oh, see, that goes better. I'm still not happy with that, but what I'm going to do is make sure that we put that foam tape, just a couple pieces of foam tape across the side here. So let's get some more of that foam tape. And you'll see I'm going to use very small pieces like this. Okay. And then another one. Right. And even though I cut that groove in there, this will be a better hold. Push down on it, make sure that it's going to stay. You're supposed to push down on it before you take the before you take the paper off. All right, let's do this. All right, now let's put our reed relay up in there, and again being very careful not to fracture the glass. All right, looks good. All right, let's test it before we decide to button it up. So testing on the outside. There we go. And turning it off. And now let's go ahead and button it up. Making sure the wires stay on the inside where you don't see the wires. That would be good, wouldn't it? Come on. I know you can do this. Got one side in. Okay, let's do the other side. Oh yeah. Ta-da! A little bit of a crack there. I wonder what that's all about. Oh, that's because it's got a wire there. Hold on. Get up in there. It's hard to see. It's got there's a black wire sticking out. Get up in there. There we go. Nice and tight across there. All right. Now let's test it. Ready? Here we go. On. And off. Perfect. All right. The only thing left to do then is we need to put this on the frame somehow. Okay. So we're gonna. All right. So what I'm going to do is, since I need to get this down here like that, I'm going to use my old friend the toothpick. And if you don't have these on your workbench, you should. Toothpicks come in handy for lots of things. Pokers, like like this, pokers, right? The wire is high in the hole, so by putting the toothpick in like this, right, I can force the wire to go down and hold it in almost perfectly in place. I want it to be a little bit right of the coupler. So let's put this back, not totally in place, but let's make sure that this works this way. We want to be a little bit right of the center of where the coupler would be. This is the perfect place for it is right there. Okay, excuse me. So now let's take and use our old friend super glue. And I know you can't see it. This is kind of off camera, but we're going to put a little bit of super glue in there, and we're going to use a super glue device, right, that I made. And it's just a sewing needle that's the top has been cut out of. Right? It needs to be cleaned up a little bit before we can use it. Let's find a knife, right? X-Acto knife. Make sure that the fork is clear, right? So we can use it. If you clean it after every use, right, rather than wait until you need to use it, that would be good. Since I'm usually in too big of a hurry to do anything. There you go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take just a drop of super glue in the center of that, and we're going to use it on the wire right there, right, to hold that in place. Now, at the moment, I don't really care about the looks. We could color it yellow, or we could do a lot of other things. We could put a little housing around the outside of it. And we're going to wait just a few seconds to make sure that it held. And this is usually pretty fast-acting super glue, so it should take 15 seconds or so. I'm going to pull the toothpick, right? And there you go. Right? So it's holding. Now, before I go any farther, I kind of want to get rid of the black wire. And one way to do that then would be to go ahead and paint it. So let me see if I've got a paint that's close to that color. I've got a little excess paint drawer. So hold on for a second till I get some paint. Alright, so I'm back and I've got two different colors of paint, but notice that this one is a whole lot closer than that one is. So we're going to use this paint. And got to make sure it's shook up pretty good. It says it's chrome yellow, so we're going to use that. And of course we've got to get the bottle open, so hold on. Alright, so remember me talking about how a toothpick is useful for lots of different things? Well, here we go. I'm going to use it as a brush. So I got my chrome yellow paint here. Oh boy, looks pretty close, doesn't it? I'm going to just kind of paint in here. Let's see if I can do this. And not only is it a brush, but it's a throwaway brush. And really cheap. What do you think? Pretty good. Alrighty then. Let's try now to paint something else on this. Usually they have a white and then a red top to them, or an orange top to them. Shall we bother? Shall we try? Well, we could. I'll have to go get some white paint. Okay, so I have an interesting scenario here. I've got a white paint pencil. So I'm going to try to do white paint pencil on the edges of this. No need to do the bottom, but I did. All right. Give it another little light coat there. Alright, and sometimes paint can get on the surface of these, so I'm going to go ahead and, again, using my toothpick, just a little bit on the front face. There you go. Let's test this one more time. Let's see what it looks like now. Pretty good. Alrighty then. Turn off the I don't know how to turn this off. Okay, there we go. Turn off that, put the wheel on, back on, and we should be good to go. Make sure that it doesn't interfere. Very good. Thanks for watching.